Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be looking at the differences between compounds and molecules. There's a whole lot of misconception out there, and I just decided to work on this so that we can clear out some of the misconceptions we have on these two concepts, your compounds and molecules. Now we go straight to business. A compound is actually a substance that is formed when atoms of different elements are bonded together. You have atoms of different elements bonded together. Let me put it down so you can see. So a compound, consider a compound is formed when atoms of different elements so I don't like this, good. When atoms of different elements are what? Bonded. They should be bonded together. That's it. Okay. Now, what are the keywords here? The keywords here are different elements as well as bonded together. So if we don't see these two words there, then you're going to get into trouble. You're going to get into trouble. The next thing is what are some of these examples? What are some of the examples of compounds? We could have two kinds of compounds. Remember, we said bonded together, and when bonding is concerned, bonding could be ionic or what? Covalent, right? The bonding could be what? Ionic or covalent. So you could have ionic compounds. The ionic compounds, of course, yeah, those are the compounds formed between the electrostatic force of attraction between your positive cations and what your negative anions, right? That is when your metals transfers electrons to your non-metals. So good examples here, good examples. Oh, I can find my pen. Okay, here is it. So good examples of ionic compounds could be your potassium oxide. You could also have sodium chloride as a common your table salt. You could have calcium oxide, right? So you could have again magnesium. So we could go to magnesium iodide, right? So there's so many compounds that you could have lithium. I can put lithium oxide still, etc. So all these are examples of what ionic compounds. So remember, the atoms are different. Remember, the elements are different, right? So potassium should be different from what? Oxygen. Of course, they're different. So that's it. The second thing or the second type of compounds could be, you could have covalent compounds now. Covalent compounds. Here, there's what the sharing of what electrons. There's a formation of what shared pair of electrons between what atoms. And these atoms are of different elements. So non-metals are usually involved here. So non-metals are involved here. Good examples, you could have carbon dioxide. So there's a formation of a shared pair. Remember, carbon dioxide looks like this, right? So there's a formation of a shared pair of electrons. So you can erase this. So these are examples of compounds. You could also have methane, right? That's your methane, CH4, where you could have this. So all these are covalent compounds. There's a formation of what? Shared pair of electrons. Okay, so that's a methane. If you don't know this, it's an organic compound. So you could call it, yeah, that's an organic compound. Your methane. You could also have your water. Good examples. You could have water molecule, right? You could have nitrogen, or your nitrous oxide or dinitrogen monoxide. You could also have nitrogen monoxide, right? You could have again your carbon monoxide. Okay, so all these are your covalent compounds. The next thing I want you to know about these covalent compounds is, oh, my pen is invisible, okay? That's my pen. The next thing I want you to know is that all these covalent compounds are what we call molecules. So these are molecules. So they are molecules, okay? So they're molecules. But that's not all. What are actually molecules? So what are molecules? So you could come here, or my whiteboard has limited pens. Now your molecules, a molecule is formed when two or more atoms are covalently bonded to each other. Or I don't want to put together, since so to each other will mean two. So two or more molecules are covalently bonded together. So we're going to go to that. We're going to use that. That's it. That's it. So what are your keywords here? The keywords here, you could have two or more atoms. Okay. They are what? Another thing is covalently bonded. Covalently is a keyword. It's a special keyword. Then bonded is another keyword. So it's like a 3-mark question. It's a 3-mark question. Right? So when you mention two or more atoms, you're going to have a mark. Covalently bonded, that's 2 marks there. Okay. Sometimes you could say two or more atoms that are bonded together by sharing electrons. By sharing electrons. Two or more atoms that are what? Bonded together by sharing electrons. So that's another way you can put it. Right? So what are some of the examples or the types of molecules? Types of molecules you could have. Let me go back still with my black. I can use this, right? Yep, that's it. So types of molecules, you can have molecules of the same element, right? Molecules of same element, you would have, for example, you could have the halogens, right? The halogens, you can call them what? The X2. So those are what for example, you have a fluorine. Okay, you remember your fluorine is the same as what? Fluorine, this. So that's a molecule. You could also have chlorine, where you would have something like this, chlorine, single bond. So that's what another what? That's another molecule, right? Your iodine, you could have what nitrogen molecule where it's a triple bond. So you see this is shared pair of electrons. So there are shared pairs of electrons here. Okay, so you could also have oxygen. So all these are what molecules. Oxygen, where you could have your double bond there. Okay, all these are molecules. So these are molecules of the same element. The next is molecules of different elements. So you have molecules of different elements now. Molecules of different elements. So molecules of different elements, I'm going to change my pen. I want to change my pen. Let me go to this. Yeah, good. Molecules of different elements. Well, what are you going to have? What are you going to have? Now, the elements, of course, the elements will be different, okay? But it will be, those elements will be bonded by what? Sharing electrons. Okay, so good examples, I could still mention my carbon dioxide here. Okay, I could mention my carbon monoxide, dinitrogen monoxide, or your nitrous oxide. You could also have your methane. And what most, and your organic, you can say your organic compounds, your organic molecules, your organic compounds. So why am I mentioning compounds? You could also call them one molecule. So this is an organic molecule, and this is also an organic compound. Telling you that all your molecules of different elements are also called, they're also called compounds. Okay, so they are compounds. So they are covalent compounds. So these are some of the differences and the similarities between compounds and molecules. If you have any question, please, you can write in your comment section below, and we'll be more than happy to reach you out or to reach out to you. Okay? Thank you, and don't forget to like our content, also, subscribe, share to help some friends, and, ace your creating chemistry. See you.